PNG Defence Force reveals new concept to address ill-disciplined soldiers. Court dismisses election petition against central governor. Swimmers follow up on medals after mix-up at the PNG Games.
This is National EMTV News with Meriba Tulo.
Good evening. This is Friday's news. A new concept will be introduced into the Papua New Guinea Defence Force to address the issue of ill discipline in the force. It will be known as the Company of Excellence concept, involving the Delta Company from Moem Barracks in Wewak and Charlie Company from Tarama Barracks in Port Moresby. Commander of the Papua New Guinea Defence Force, Brigadier General Gilbert Toropo, announced this during his final parade today.
The final Commander's Parade for 2014 was executed in fine military fashion. It was witnessed by heads of other disciplinary forces, members of the diplomatic corps and the public. The parade is a time for the Commander to highlight the progress of the PNGDF for this year and his intent for 2015. Though there are many prevalent issues affecting the force, the Commander wants to see that the two main issues of force capacity and force capability are adequately addressed. He said there has been a sharp decline in the manpower capacity of the force, creating a skills gap that has greatly affected the force to carry out its constitutional duties. While the capability of its three operational elements, air, land and maritime elements, all suffered as a consequence of resource constraints and lack of intervention by past governments. Among the many changes, a homegrown concept known as the Company of Excellence will be fully implemented next year. The concept is aimed at revitalizing the force by curbing ill discipline to restore the image of the force.
The new soldiers have been passed on with some of the bad habits by the former soldiers who's been operating together when we start to spread the soldiers. So what we'd like to do is eventually all the companies will go through that program, and then within the 2 or 3 years we will see a revitalized PNG Defence Force with brand new soldiers, new skill sets, with new leadership in mind, so that these problems of mob rule, problems of ill disciplines will be eradicated over the time as a result of this Company of Excellence program.
All these changes depend entirely on funding from the national government. Commander Toropo said the 262 million kina funding is insufficient to implement these changes, but it will be prioritized accordingly. Mickey Cavera, National EMTV News.
The election petition against Central Provincial Governor Kila Hauda by former Governor Alphonse Moroi has been dismissed. In handing down the decision this afternoon, Justice Colin McKyle said the evidence did not support the allegations of bribery against Hauda.
A courtroom change at the last minute caused a stir among the crowd who were there to hear the decision firsthand. The decision came down to the weight of the evidence presented, and it tilted in favor of Governor Hauda. The respective councils had this to say after the ruling.
It was a deserved win for the Governor of Central Province. It was a long battle, but at the end he's got there. And he now has the confidence to continue, managing the province.
The decision was basically based on the weight of the evidence, so it basically tilted in favor of Honorable Kila Hauda.
Observing the proceedings this afternoon was Justice Sir Kina Bona. After going through the history of the case, Justice Colin McKyle handed down the ruling, saying evidence provided by the applicant did not support the allegations of bribery against Hauda. He highlighted the fact that most of Moroi's evidence was presented during the cross-examination of his witnesses and not supplied as chief evidence, and this, he said, can be viewed as manufactured evidence. Justice McKyle also noted that he was not impressed by the demeanor of the three witnesses in support of Moroi. On the other hand, Hauda's witnesses were impressive in that they were confident, logical and assertive. Sarah Aupong, National EMTV News.
Meanwhile, former Central Governor Alphonse Moroi accepted the court decision dismissing an election petition he filed against Governor Kila Hauda. Moroi encouraged his supporters to take ownership of their actions by providing good leadership to other people in the country.
Moroi told his supporters not to cause any problems after the court decision. He said Goilalas possessed some good leadership qualities. He said the court has the capacity to make final decision and encourages its people to respect the rule of law.
You be born humble. You come up bel mama papa blow you me, mama blow you me. You come also humble.
Moroi told his people to refrain from causing any trouble and commit themselves by providing good leadership in their communities. He said time will come for his people to appoint new leaders.
That's all me like to talk now. Thank you Lord for the support play. Good luck case, that's all. Wait, that's all. Wait till the go side blow Kila orang naman. Suppose me got plenty witness or plenty story too, and by me no good win you
Waranigi advises that there were not enough substantial evidences to support the case. Eric Arupma, National EMTV News.
Tension is high between settlers at the LBM block and PMV owners at the second 7 dump site outside Ley City. The incident happened after 2 PMV trucks were stoned by youths from the LBM block late yesterday afternoon. This morning, 4 family homes belonging to suspects were destroyed and one of the suspects was handed over to police. Police were called to the scene and are doing their best to contain the situation as they continue investigations. PMV buses operating to and from Bumayong and 10 city areas were on hold in fear of being attacked by opportunists. A critical blood shortage in Western Highlands Province has prompted an NGO in the province to take immediate action by hosting an urgent blood donation drive. Youth Link PNG with OM Holdings, in partnership with the PNG Red Cross Society and Western Highlands Provincial Health Authority Cardiac Clinic, will be holding a blood drive tomorrow to help restock much-needed blood at the Mount Hagen General Hospital.
The third largest city in Papua New Guinea, Mount Hagen, is coming under the spotlight following a blood shortage in the province. Youth Link PNG with OM Holdings, in partnership with Red Cross Western Islands Office and the Western Islands Provincial Health Authority Cardiac Clinic, have called on Mount Hagen residents to come forward and donate blood. Youth Link's Islands President Derek Nagul said there isn't enough blood in Mount Hagen General Hospital. Nagul said the blood drawn from this drive will serve patients in Mount Hagen and the rest of Western Highlands Province. Nagul said the response from corporate houses has been positive and they expect a good turnout from Mount Hagen residents. The blood drive will be held tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Red Cross office opposite Mount Hagen General Hospital. The organizations involved in this exercise have signed a Memorandum of Understanding for ongoing blood drives and corporate support in Western Islands Province and the rest of the islands region. Tere Alex, National EMTV News.
You're watching National EMTV News. Among stories after the break, local contractor praised for completing roadworks in the Highlands and Oro Governor commends students for walking the Kokoda track. Welcome back to the news. Construct Oceanic Limited has been recognized by the government to carry out much-needed roadworks in the country. The local company from Southern Highlands has so far carried out close to 80 million kina worth of road projects. Its next major road project is to rehabilitate the neglected Saak Valley Road.
When it comes to civil works and road construction, Construct Oceanic Limited is a household name in the Southern Highlands Province and parts of the Highlands region. The company has fixed Mandytown roads and sections of the Highlands Highway to national road standards. So far in the last 4 years, the company has completed close to 80 million kina worth of projects. Some of the iconic road projects undertaken by Construct Oceanic include Mandytown roads at a cost of 15 million kina, Angula to Kutubu Kiburu Road worth 9 million kina, 23 million kina for Kiburu to Lai Road. Others include Werin to Semin Road worth 10 million kina and maintained Yalibu Town Road at 5 million kina. Currently, the company is upgrading 16 million kina worth of road projects in the region. All these projects were awarded through Central Supplies and Tenders Board. However, today the company's efforts was recognized by the national government. Through an NEC decision, Construct Oceanic was awarded a 20 million kina contract to maintain the Sauk Valley Road. Roadworks are expected early next year. Bridget Komatap, National EMTV News.
Students from Sakita Primary School in the Sohe district of Northern Province undertook an excursion through the Kokoda track to raise funds for a new grade 8 classroom. A contingent of 23 students, along with their headmistress, arrived yesterday in Port Moresby after a 5-day walk through the famous Kokoda track.
Governor of Oro, Gary Jufa, met the contingent at the Parliament House yesterday. Jufa donated a collection of PNG writers' anthology, The Crocodile Prize, to each student and assisted with cash for the airfares. He encouraged them to read a lot of books and attain comprehension skills to develop knowledge and prosper in education. He also assured students that he will liaise with the education department to build a new classroom.
If schools are making their own effort, then we give them priority. That's what we do. So there are a number of schools on that list. There's about 3 or 4 schools where the people, the teachers and the community have made a significant effort to raise funds or do things for themselves. They are on a list that will be considered by the education sector chairman, and they will be given assistance from the provincial government, our funding under the education program.
Sakita Primary School is located in the remote part of Sowe district in the Northern Province. It is one of 32 primary schools in the district that contributes to the human resource development of the province.
I just initiated this idea of them coming for an excursion, and I asked where they wanted to go. And then I just raised this idea of saying, how about if we just walk the trail for an excursion? So they said, okay, we'd like to do that.
Ms. Temba said this excursion provides an avenue for students to interact with outside community and bring tangible developments into their area. Eric Arupma, National EMTV News.
The media industry is a vital tool to accelerate development in the country. United Nations Resident Coordinator for PNG, Roy Trivedi, made these comments during the Yumi Olgeta Media Meet in Port Moresby. Mr. Trivedi said the distribution of information across the vast population by the media is an important aspect in ensuring that development is made known.
The media plays a really vital role. It plays a vital role because it helps to inform people, it helps to give people knowledge, new ideas, and it helps to educate people.
European Union Head of Delegate Martin Deem said that he was pleased to collaborate with the United Nations in ensuring the gathering paves the way for the media to have more networks within the industry.
And I'm particularly pleased that we can organize this evening's event jointly with the United Nations.
NBC journalist Rebecca Pasingan said the event is a good way in which all media personnel can connect and build networks in their work.
Actually good because it gets you to meet other colleagues from the mainstream media as well as PR officers and other stakeholders.
Benny Gatang, National EMTV News.
The Cocoa Board of Papua New Guinea is now working closely with districts in Moroi to increase cocoa production in the province. CEO of the Cocoa Board of PNG, Boto Gaupu, says they are partnering with Moroi MPs to counterfund projects at the district level. The production and quality of cocoa beans are expected to increase through this partnership.
The Cocoa Board is a nursery program with the Markham district to assist cocoa farmers in the area. More than 30,000 seedlings of cocoa are sprouting from this nursery, and this will greatly increase the production of cocoa in Markham Valley. The Cocoa Board says they are in talks with the member for CRC, Mao Jeming, and other MPs to work in partnership to grow the cocoa industry in the physical region.
We are now working with the districts. We are also having partnerships with the districts. We are now having a nursery program in Markham Valley with the Markham District JDP BPC, which is a kina for kina. They are putting up 1 million kina. Cocoa Board is putting up 1 million kina, which is 2 million.
Earlier this week, the Cocoa Board and the Moroi provincial government partnered with a local shipping company to transport cocoa bags from coastal villages into Leh. The partnership aims at encouraging local cocoa farmers to be more productive and produce high-quality cocoa beans for the world market. The Cocoa Board will also be distributing to farmers clone materials which are tolerant to the cocoa pod borer.
Cocoa and Coconut Research Institute has developed 18 clones which can withstand CPB. So that is the only material we are propagating and using in all the districts that we are working with. So yes, we are not only talking about moving cocoa to the market, we are also doing planting. But
other provinces like East New Britain have also ventured into similar programs within their LLGs and indigenous land groups. With more funding given to training of local farmers and distribution of clone materials, PNG will be able to increase its production of high-quality beans for the world market. Sylvester Gawi, National EMTV News, Leh.
And now a look at the finance news. The kina closed unchanged at 0.3900 US dollars in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your kina was buying 0.3825 US dollars, 0.4522 Australian dollars, 0.3055 euro, and 45.32 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, cocoa closed higher, gold and coffee closed lower, and copper closed the day unchanged. Copper closed higher, palm oil and crude oil closed lower. And on the stock markets, the Dow Jones closed at 12 points lower, the ASX closed at 17 points lower, and the All Ordinaries closed at 16 points lower. Still to come on National EMTV News, Ombudsman Commission launched their new website, and ward councillors in Central Province call for investigations into LLG funds. Stay with us. Welcome back to the news. Complaints relating to corruption practices in Papua New Guinea can now be filed with the government watchdog, the Ombudsman Commission, through their new website. Information submitted will be used as leads for investigations and will be kept strictly confidential. Fabian Hakalitz reports.
We officially launched OC website. There it goes. There it goes.
Papua New Guinea's Ombudsman Commission now has a new website. Chief Ombudsman Rigolua told EMTV News the website will be useful to the Commission as it will assist to generate information as part of its function to investigate administrative and leadership complaints.
And investigate those complaints. But if it is concerning a leader, that's another area where the Ombudsman Commission will also come in to investigate a leader if the complaint relates to a particular leader. So administrative complaints or leadership complaints, yes, we've accommodated for both.
The website also provides information about the Commission's roles and functions and some of the most frequently asked questions about the organization. It's an important tool for disseminating information and research.
They can easily file their complaints online if they're able to access the website. And then it comes through the system, and then we are able to pick up and then facilitate.
The legislative review discussion paper to help improve the Commission's efficiency and effectiveness is also available on the website. You can access the website through the internet and mobile phones by simply logging on to www.ombudsman.gov.pg. Fabian Hakalitz, National EMTV News.
Ward councillors in the Gowari LLG in Goilala district are calling on the Central Provincial Administration to carry out investigations into the LLG funds. The councillors said the LLG Services Improvement Funds have been used up, but no improvements have taken place. They want Governor Kilahauda to set up a team to investigate their LLG SIP funds.
Robert Maiva is one of those that request investigation into the Gowari LLG SIP funds. The funds are for this year and last year, which total up to 1 million kina. They blame the LLG president, Patrick Bawai, for lack of consultation, saying they have no LLG meetings, but have surprised that the LLG funds have run out.
Why na money stop where? I'm concerned with people worry. People like him all working investigation, na finding out money from people. Usai to get this money, people all politician kai or administration kai or money come down the name of site na money go where or sila kan sandi people like him almost find out.
This morning, many of them gathered at the Central Provincial Headquarters at Konidobo to voice their concern. They said locals in Goari are suffering with no health and education services, but said few individuals in Port Moresby have access to SIP funds, which they want to know the process involved.
As to stop the Goari energy funds, before only making financial investigation, go out and make a full investigation of place. You get something you will come up with stuff or no.
Last Friday, frustrated locals stormed the LLG president's office in Konidobo. Police intervened and prevent looting of properties. The locals now demand Central Governor Kila Hauda to set up a team to investigate the LLG SIP funds before 2015. Quinton Alomp, National EMTV News.
Turning overseas now, and protests are taking place across New York following a grand jury's decision to clear a police officer over the death of an unarmed black man. Footage of the incident showed the officer placing the victim in an alleged chokehold.
Jury watched 4 separate videos of the moments leading to Eric Garner's death, but this is the version the world has seen. Eric Garner arguing with this officer who accused him of selling loose cigarettes. Standing by, Officer Daniel Pantaleo.
I'm minding my business, officer.
Then Pantaleo moves in.
Don't touch me,
He slips an arm under Garner's right arm, the other around his neck. It looks like a chokehold. He tries to force Garner down. 2 other officers swoop in. All 4 cops now wrestling Eric Garner. The whole time, Officer Pantaleo on top of him, keeping that seeming chokehold a full 15 seconds. Garner says, "I can't breathe," again and again, 11 times.
I can't breathe.
Moments later, Garner stops moving. Police try to clear the scene. Officer Pantaleo spent 2 hours in front of the grand jury telling them he did not put Garner in a chokehold, which the NYPD bans, but executed a takedown, as he was trained to do. The 23-person, mostly white grand jury met for 9 weeks. They would have needed 12 votes to indict. The outcry instantaneous. Garner's wife responding angrily to words of condolence from Officer Pantaleo.
No, I could care less. He's still working. He's still getting a paycheck. He's still feeding his kids. And my husband is 6 feet under.
And today we're hearing from Garner's children in an interview with Yahoo's Katie Couric.
I was disappointed. It's still like, why? You know? You seen him die on national TV just like everybody else. Why?
New York City's mayor speaking out about telling his own son Dante, who is biracial, about what he called the dangers he may face from police.
This is personal. We can see through the eyes of so many of our fellow New Yorkers. People need to know that black lives and brown lives matter as much as white lives.
Those comments themselves infuriating New York City's police union.
What we need is a mayor to stand up with and for us as well. What police officers felt yesterday after that press conference is that they were thrown under the bus.
There's been a setback for NASA's plans to bring into the space race. A mission to test a new deep space rocket that would potentially take astronauts to Mars has been delayed.
It will soar higher and farther into deep space than NASA has gone in a generation. The new Orion spacecraft was ready for its maiden voyage this morning.
Hold. Fuel 1, fuel and drain not closed.
But didn't go up due to assorted issues, including high winds. The critical unmanned flight is designed to test the capsule's vital systems before any crew steps on board. This NASA animation shows what it should look like. Orion punching through the atmosphere to an altitude of 3,600 miles, 15 times higher than the space station. The 2-orbit flight will last 4.5 hours. Mission Control in Houston will be in charge.
Now it's game time. Now it's time to really pay off and see this mission.
Orion's heat shield, structure, and navigation system will be evaluated. Its deceleration system will also be put to the test. Key radiation data will be measured.
You're going to see us press harder than we've pressed before, because for the first time in more than 40 years, this nation is going to launch a spacecraft intended to carry humans beyond low Earth orbit. That's a big deal.
What we're doing is about human exploration. It's about sending people to places that we've never been before.
Orion will return at blazing speeds exceeding 20,000 miles an hour and temperatures over 4,000 degrees. Using 11 parachutes, it will land 200 miles off Baja California and be picked up by a Navy ship for its final trek home.
Trukai Sports coming up next. Team Central query the whereabouts of the medals won at the PNG Games.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. Swimmers from the 6th BSP PNG Games are still unsure of whether they will ever get back the medals after finding out the medals were labelled incorrectly. The medals were taken back from the winners for clarification. 3 provinces took part in swimming: Central, East New Britain and Moroi. Some members of Team Central are also waiting for the medals to be returned. Godwin Eki reports.
The 6th BSP PNG Games in Lae, Moroi Province may be over now, but for some athletes, they are still waiting to get their medals back. Swimmers from Team Central, East New Britain and Moroi returned some of their medals after finding out the labels on the medals didn't match the strokes they swam in. The medals were given back to the tournament director and officials to be relabeled correctly and given back to the swimmers.
This thing should have happened first. Like, they should have sent the rules to all the provinces, to all the teams in swimming, and maybe let us know in advance that there's gonna be, in the swimming, there's gonna be FINA rules. We're gonna go by the FINA rules.
He said the organization of the swimming competition were not fully prepared and that too many late decisions were made to swimming rules, changes of categories, and even after the competition, there were still changes taking place. With the 6th BSP PNG Games over, questions still remain as to when the medals will be returned.
Through the experience, they know what happened in Lae, and I'm hoping that they will do their best.
DRE hopes the next host city will have learnt lessons from the 6th BSP PNG Games in Lae and will do better. Godwin Eki, National EMTV Sports.
In the search to find and create a wider playing base, the PNG Palais will head into trials tomorrow to finalize a select team. This team will travel and take part in the 2015 HSBC Hong Kong Sevens tournament, the 2015 Pacific Games and the Olympic qualifiers. Australian Wallaby Will Genia arrived in the country today and will be offering his services to mentor the girls, many of whom have little international experience. While the Australian halfback is in the country on a break following the Wallabies' worst ever spring tour performance, his experience is needed. The trials will commence tomorrow at the Port Moresby International School. A new basketball court was commissioned today for Jubilee Catholic Secondary School in Port Moresby. With basketball being one of the fastest growing sports in the country, the new court was made possible through BSP's Community Development Program. Jeremy Mogi reports.
Conducting sport and PE classes has always been a struggle for a school that prides itself on its academic success. Although with success in a number of other sporting codes such as soccer and softball, the school now believes it can excel on the court as well.
Jubilee has won the last cluster game, NCD cluster game, which the basketball boys did very well. Though we don't have a basketball court here in Jubilee, though we did well. But now with the current facilities that we have, I'm having the faith and trust that we will do much better next time.
Yes, actually a lot of girls out there, they're into basketball, but we don't have the facilities here. So with this new facility, it will encourage girls to come out and play against the boys, so just get involved with basketball.
Former student Ezra Apoya was also enthusiastic on the school's sporting chances in the future.
Because when you come and
look at the facilities that we have and the physical geography of the school, it's really quite boring, I'll say. And many students, I'll say, it's really discouraging for them to come.
School Principal Bernadette Ove was also optimistic on the plans that the school has.
And you are quite right in saying that we do have a lot of plans to further develop the other sporting facilities here in Jubilee so that our students can be able to have proper physical education lessons. Not only to play the actual games, but also to be able to be taught properly the skills, the ball skills, basketball, volleyball, netball, and so forth.
Well, it's been over a decade, 14 years in fact, since any development has taken place over here. In fact, the facility behind me was dug out from the mountain that you can see over in the distance. But in any case, the principal, the students and the staff here are very, very happy with their brand new basketball court. Jeremy Moggy, National EMTV Sports.
And Trukai Sports continues after the break with cricket and rugby league. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. The under-19 PNG Barramundis cricketers have swung back into training following the recent tournament in Lisbon, Australia. Currently, there are 8 boys in the team who are preparing for the World Cup qualifiers in New Zealand for February next year. Coach Deepak Patel said the emphasis on this training schedule is to get the boys to fully develop their skills and maintain their focus as professional cricketers. Prior to the World Cup qualifiers, the boys will head into a 5-day camp on the Gold Coast.
They're only as good as what they've been taught. In the past, they come and they train, they go. There's nothing very specific. So what we're trying to change for them is to get a little bit more structured. And not necessarily just at cricket training, even their lives at home. We were trying to teach them to have proper diets so that when they turn up for training, they've got the right energy. So there's lots of ways that we can improve their cricket. Complacency is definitely one, whereas in the past they've never been pushed to the limit. And now the goal for all cricketers at Cricket PNG, we only train to be the best in the world, and that's the only way forward for us.
As part of their Cricket Olgata program, Cricket PNG hosted a women's cricket carnival recently at the Lalokau Gabuna Oval in Pari Village to commemorate White Ribbon Day. In their efforts to promote and carry out awareness campaigns to address social and health issues, Cricket PNG has jumped on board to fight violence against women.
Cricket PNG, through their social awareness drive and development programs, have established 4 components under the Cricket Olgata program. Multicultural and traditional unity through cricket, village cricket, disability cricket and women's cricket.
For me to witness the village cricket and the enthusiasm and the skill levels is just unbelievable.
As part of their drive to develop women's cricket in Papua New Guinea, Cricket PNG have been committed in supporting campaigns in place to fight for gender equality and against violence against women. The message behind the carnival was to assist in empowering women in urban outlets of the country to stand up and speak out against violence against women. Now, the National Department of Health has identified that over 2/3 of women have experienced physical and sexual abuse, while 1/3 of girls between the ages of 13 and 14 have fallen victim to rape and sexual violence.
Violence against women, fantastic achievement to be even to admit it, that it happens. Secondly, to make people aware of the fact that we need to do something about it. Yeah, it has to start somewhere, and I'm so pleased that Cricket PNG have taken the initiative, and let's hope that other organisations take the same stand.
Now, violence impacts the lives of women in the long and short term, causing pain and suffering and premature death. Through Cricket PNG's development programs, they hope to see women step outside of their comfort zones and express themselves through the love of cricket. Lorraine Genya, National EMTV Sports.
Port Moresby Vipers Jolam Jerry is the proud recipient of 3,400 kina from TISA Savings and Loan Society Limited to participate in the All Blacks Championships in February next year. The tournament will be held in Cairns with participation from Indigenous Australia as well as Pacific Island clubs. Jerry, the Vipers centre, is also an employee of TISA and has shown potential in Digicel Cup matches. He is hopeful to one day wear the SP PNG Hunters jersey or represent the country with the PNG Comals. Hailing from East New Britain and in the prime of his career, the 29-year-old is excited about the prospect of taking part in the championships. He will be mentored and trained by former Canberra Raiders front rower David Wesley. And that wraps up Trukai Sports segment for tonight. Coming up next, the weather details. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
Taking a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours, Port Moresby, evening showers. You can expect a top temperature of 32 degrees. Fine for Daru, you have a top temperature of 32 degrees as well. And the same for Kerma, Alotau and Popondetta. To the Momasa region, Lae, mostly fine with a top temperature of 32 degrees. Showers in Wau, you can expect a top temperature of 32 degrees and a minimum of 24. For Madang, you have evening showers, top temperature of 32 degrees. Wewak, you can expect a few showers, a top temperature there of 30. And for Vanimo, you will expect few showers, top temperature of 30 degrees and a minimum of 24 degrees. Over to the New Guinea Islands, for Lorengau, you can expect a few showers, top temperature of 31 degrees, a minimum of 24. Brief showers expected in Keveng, top temperature there of 31 degrees. For Kokopo and Rabaul, you can expect a few showers, top temperature of 31 degrees. Afternoon showers expected in Kimbe, top temperature of 32 degrees. And for Buka in the autonomous region of Bougainville, evening showers expected, top temperature of 32 degrees. And for the Highlands region, evening showers in Mount Hagen, top temperature of 26. 26 is the top temperature as well for Goroka. You can expect evening showers. Much the same for Kundiawa with a top temperature of 26 degrees as well. Evening showers for Mendi. You have a top temperature of 25 and a top temperature of 25 degrees expected for Wabeg with evening showers over the next 24 hours. Taking a look at the forecast for small ships, all seas 0.5 to 1.3 meters, except waters of Samurai Island, Cape Vogel, Waso Point to Finschhafen. You can expect seas 0.5 to 1.2 meters. And the ocean forecast for PNG areas, Coral Sea, seas slight with easterly winds at 10 to 15 knots. Solomon Sea, seas slight with southeast to southwesterly winds at 10 to 15 knots. Bismarck Sea, seas slight with northwest to southwesterly winds at 10 to 15 knots. And for the Pacific Ocean, seas slight with southeast to southwesterly winds at 10 to 15 knots. And before we go, our top stories again. Papua New Guinea Defence Force reveals new concept to address ill-disciplined soldiers. Court dismisses election petition against Central Province Governor. And swimmers follow up on medals after mix-up at the PNG Games. And that has been National EMTV News for today, Friday, the 5th of December 2014. From the EMTV News team, I'm Meribatulo. You have a safe weekend. Good night.